420.
That timing is different. Okay, we have finished with total channel, right? Sorry. We have finished that, na?
Moments.
Yeah, so we will be behind related. Okay?
Yeah.
He's done. Just be there in the college. You have 3 days holidays to school or online classes?
Online.
Yesterday.
Not today?
Today there is nothing.
Okay. That's it. Alright. We shall do a truly beautiful mind. What do you mean by a truly beautiful mind?
Best mind was beautiful.
So what do you mean by that? नहीं एक नहीं आया ये आपका टाइमिंग उधर का इधर का मैच नहीं होता है ये 22 है और उधर 14 15 उधर है What do you mean by truly beautiful mind?
Genius mind.
Is it only genius?
Beautiful, genius, which has qualities.
It has qualities. What kind of qualities?
Studying all that.
Why do we study?
Which
All
are
the
genius.
qualities, like
Which are genius.
Okay, but except for genius, what do you mean by genius also?
Genius.
Is it only
scientist or
Is it only scientist or is he only an intelligent person we are talking about? And what are we talking about?
genius man. Genius mind. A genius man with who has.
Who is a genius?
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein is a genius. Just because we know that we have studied Albert Einstein is a genius, he has a high IQ, that's why we think he's a genius. So if Mother Teresa is not a genius, why?
She's helping she was helping the students.
Only
She
students.
was. Now she is working.
Yeah, so it's passed away. But then why because we are talking about genius, why do we think only that intelligence is genius?
Which a man who does good things.
Now we are jumping into that. Who does good things for who?
People.
People,
No.
as in,
Like,
who does good things for the whole humanity, isn't it? Who thinks for the other people, not only about himself, isn't it? Yes, we can say genius is an intelligent person. He may be doing good in academics, good in studies and all that. But is it necessary that he is a genius in all? We are talking about, when I talk about truly beautiful mind, who thinks for others. It's not only himself. He thinks for others. He thinks for the world. Understood? That's why he is called a truly beautiful mind. Only then it is going to be a truly beautiful mind. Not only because you can make many inventions, but if that invention helps many people, then it is good, right? If you make invention only for yourself, only for your person, catering to your needs, do you think you are helping others? Okay, so a truly beautiful mind talks about that. So who do you think when you hear what do you think of when you hear the word genius? Who is a genius? What qualities do you think a genius has? So what quality the genius should have?
a good mind.
Good mind. He has good quality.
Which good qualities? What are we talking about?
Helping.
Helpful, good.
Helpful, careful.
Careful. Fine, just because it's rhyming, you're going to give me
Helpful.
helpful. And
Doing or inventing a thing which can help other people.
so quality. What is the quality? What is the quality?
Doing same thing.
Doing for other people.
Do it for other people. So that what is the quality? Humanitarian work, right? What else?
Human.
Okay, who's a civil servant? Who's a civil servant?
Civil.
Civil servant.
Who is a young German?
Who's a civil servant? We have Indian also. India also we have a lot of civil
We have
servants.
that
Civil
comes
engineer.
home. That comes home and do such things.
Scientist.
No,
And do काम करते हैं.
no, that is a maid. That is not a civil servant.
Servant is who makes food.
Huh?
That is also maid. How do you call it a servant? They call helpers. A one who works in the government. That's a civil servant.
Ah.
Civil servant.
My father works in government and I also do.
Yeah. So we shall now read about a young German civil and welcome. Why are we late?
Oh,
Contemplate. Go sign.
sign.
We shall now read about a young German civil servant. Civil servant is
Government job.
who has government job. Who took the world by storm about 100 years ago. So we are talking about Albert Einstein nearly 100 years ago. Who he did. In the summer of 1905, the 26-year-old published a quick succession of 4 groundbreaking papers. Okay, he had when he was only 26-year-old, he published papers which changed the whole world. You know, he made so many four inventions about light. See, these are the inventions about light, the motion of particles. These are the inventions. The electrodynamics of moving bodies and the energy. So these 4 things he had written about in his papers. So he discovered these things and he wrote and he found, and this is how we use. Like when you talk about electricity, when you talk about the speed of light, when you talk about the electrodynamics, I think so you talk about Einstein because he discovered it. Okay, his work took up only a few pages in scientific journals, but changed forever our understanding of space, time, and the entire cosmos. Cosmos. What is cosmos? Sorry, excuse me.
Comics.
When I give you cosmos is comics.
Comics.
Comics. The universe. Comics.
Solar system.
The solar system, cosmos. And transform the name Einstein into a synonym for genius. Okay. 50 years after his death, Albert Einstein's genius still reigns. Reigns? Rules. Write that down. Reigns is rules. R-U-L-E-S.
Paragraph. Number.
The third bulleted point, the last word.
Reigns.
Reigns. That means rules. He still rules the world. Okay. Remember, we are still using his invention and we are still using whatever he has discovered and invented. Okay. You not read.
Albert
Einstein was born on
Someone asked you to read.
Albert Einstein was born on 14 March 1879 in the German city of Ulm without any indication that he was destined for greatness. On the contrary, his mother thought Albert was a freak, to her his head seemed much too large.
Okay, stop. So, like, whenever a child is born, he doesn't say, like, the day he's born, nobody will look at him and say, oh, a genius is born. Okay, you cannot make out only when the child starts speaking, starts doing certain things, only then, but they also are normal kids. right? They are not no different than others. When he was born and the mother looked at him, he had a big head. So that's why his mother called him a freak. What is a freak?
Freak.
What is a freak? It's written there. What is a freak?
A
A word used
disappropriate to talk about a person
disappropriate.
who is unusual and doesn't behave.
Yeah, look or think like others.
So basically, he didn't look like a normal baby because of his head being big. So because of that, his mother said he looked very strange, and she said he looked very weird. Okay, that's a freak. Where was he born?
Person,
German city of Ulm. Okay.
German city of Ulm.
In yes, and then when he was born,
1879.
March 1879.
In March 1879.
what does his mother think of him?
And Albert was a freak.
No, that he was a freak because
His
He
head
had
is
a
His head seemed too large.
because he had a large head or a huge head. Come on.
at the age of 2.5, Einstein still
At the age of
wasn't talking. When he finally did learn to speak, he uttered everything twice. Einstein did not know what to do with other children, and his playmates called him Brother Boy. So the youngster played by himself
Stop.
much of the time. He especially loved mechanical toys. Looking at the newborn sister Maja, he is said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?"
Okay. Finished? Done?
Full.
I think it was Nishad's. Nishad, na?
Listen.
Nishad. Okay. At the age of 2.5, Einstein still wasn't talking. So you normally start talking at say one year, 9 months, 1 year like that. You start talking one word. You start saying ma, you start saying dad, like slowly. But you start talking. But by 2.5 years, it's a very strange thing. He didn't start talking for 2.5 years. And when he did learn to speak, he would repeat the words again and again. Like my name is like that. He would repeat the word. Continuously he would repeat the word. So when he finally did learn, he uttered means said, okay, uttered everything twice. So everything he would say twice. And Einstein did not know what to do with the other children. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to play with the children. Okay, he didn't this one. And whenever these children called him to play, he didn't know what to do. So they called him boring because he didn't know anything interesting. He didn't know, and how children are very inquisitive, right? So he didn't know what to do with them, how to play with them. Okay, so the younger youngster played by himself because he didn't have any friends. Everybody refused because he said, "You are very boring. You don't know anything." So
Brother Boy.
so they called him Brother Boy. Okay. But he especially loved mechanical toys. So he loved to play with toys which had
Mechanical.
which had nuts and bolts.
Electric car.
In that time there was no electric car.
But now.
Now there are. That time he didn't have. So these cars he would love to play. The pushback cars that time. Or this. So he would love to play that. Looking at his newborn sister Maja, he is said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" Basically, when you see the newborn baby, they wrap the baby up, right? So the legs are not visible. So when he looked at her, she said, "Okay, but where are her wheels?" Instead of saying where are her legs, he's asking where are the wheels. So he's so mechanically oriented, so he's asking where are the wheels instead of legs. Okay, when he sees his baby sister. Yeah.
Ma'am, can I?
So,
A headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he never made a success at anything. Einstein began learning to play with the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur
violinist.
maintaining the skill throughout his life.
Okay. So his headmaster once told his father, uh, they judge children very fast at that particular time, and then they think like he's not going to become anything because he never had that interest in anything, and he said he will never become anything in life, no matter what profession he takes, he will never become anything in life. Okay, and they had given up on him basically. And then his mother told, mother said to learn violin. Violin, what is a violin, right? You put it on the shoulder and you play that.
That Ustad Bismillah Khan.
That was tabla. Chennai, sorry. Violin is it's like the guitar, but not a guitar, but it's kept on the shoulder and you play with the string.
String and the piano type.
No.
Piano.
Violin is the one you play with the string.
And can you show?
Right.
String. Of that friend. Nishad. Of that friend. अरे बंद करना AC बंद फिर से ऑन करें
Now can we switch on the fan? It's very hot.
Here.
अरे this
This is a violin.
this comes at something 12 or 14 lakh.
This one.
This one is a violin.
The real violin, ma'am, comes at 12 or 13 lakh rupees.
Depends on the horse and the instrument.
Yes.
So his mother at 6-year-old, he started
Ma'am,
learning
can you
violin
sit like this?
and he became no.
And
No.
I will sit comfortable.
No. So at the age of 6 he started, but he became such an expert in it that he could play it like a profession. But he didn't take it up as a profession. Understood? He was so talented that when he learned to play, he was very, very talented with the violin. Okay, but he didn't take it up as a profession. He was an amateur. Amateur is one who just does it for his enjoyment. Okay, they do it for their own enjoyment rather than professionally. Okay, so a headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter whatever he takes as a profession because he will never make a success of it. Please don't do that. Please stop playing with the pen. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. So his mother wanted him to learn something and she insisted that he learn a violin, and that's why he later became a gifted. Gifted is somebody who's very talented. Okay, when we use the word gifted, it means he is very talented. Amateur violinist, maintaining the skill throughout his life. So throughout his life, he played the violin, but he never did it professionally. Okay, he only did it for his pleasure, your kind of a hobby. Alright?
But
Yes.
Albert Einstein.
Not
was
your turn, it's his turn.
But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. He went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old and scored full marks in almost every subject. Einstein attended the school prioritizing and often clashed with his teachers. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled that he left the school for good.
So he basically when he was not a bad pupil, as in he was a good pupil, but he was never there were a lot of restrictions in the school. So he because he's a genius. If you see, he had a high IQ. So whatever for example, even me, when I'm teaching you, it's sometimes some students they keep on questioning, right? And that time the curiosity is not fulfilled. It is not answered. And there were so many, it was like this boring rote learning kind of thing. And he wanted to explore. So he found it very boring. Understood? And he found it very constraining, very restricting. So he started feeling suffocated in that. Stifled is basically when you're feeling very suffocated in that means you're not getting exposure. He didn't have, see nowadays you have online studies, you have like a lot of Google and like you can research, you can do everything. The teacher talks about different things. Otherwise, normally in olden days it was only the textbook and the whatever was in the textbook that was told to the students. Now if you see we explore a lot of scenarios, we make you connect with the world, isn't it? So because of that, he felt very restricted because he didn't have that kind of exposure what nowadays you have. Understood? And that also exposure now because of him. If you see electricity and all that which was he found, then now wait. As this one, Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. He went to the high school in Munich. Munich is again in
Germany.
yes, it's in Germany. When Einstein family had moved when he was 15 months old. So how old he was 15 months per se? 1 year is 12 months. 1 year is 12 months. So 1 year, 3 months.
3 months.
So he was 1 year, 3 months old when his family moved there. He was born in Ulm, right? And then when he was 1 year, 3 months, they shifted to Munich, another city, okay, in Germany. And scored good marks in almost every subject. So every subject mostly scored good marks. Einstein hated the school regimentation. Regimentation? Discipline, okay. He hated the school discipline. They were very, very strict. They wouldn't allow anybody to move anywhere. You had to report on time and all that. And often clashed with the teachers, with his teachers. So he clashed with his teachers means he argued with his teachers and he fought with his teachers. Clashed is that. Okay, clashed means that. That means when you argue or you fight with your teacher, that is called clashing. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stupid that he left school for good. And he says, no, I am not going to study anymore in this school. Okay, and he decided I am not going to return back to the school. And he never returned back to the school. Clear?
Yes.
Next. Your turn.
But Albert Einstein was not the previous year. Albert's parents.
And put the fan on at least, it's stifling.
I am feeling cold. Can I sit at that?
If you sit at the back, you will feel more cold. Go sit. Why didn't you bring a jacket or something in back?
I forgot.
Sit and read.
You don't remember.
Okay, sleep.
Einstein was highly
If
gifted. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan.
It's a fashion destination. No.
Milan and left their son with relatives. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich.
Munich. So these are the places where this one in the previous year. The previous year he left the school, right? So before that, 1 year before that, Albert's parents had moved to Milan. They had moved to Milan and they left their sons with their relative. Because he said, I am not going to return back. So they have
Albert Einstein have a brother or sister?
Yes. Left their son.
Who?
Just now we have a Maja sister.
Why left his son?
With the relatives because he didn't want to study there, right? So they left his son with the relatives after prolonged discussion. They had a prolonged, basically very long discussion because it's not easy a task for him to shift, For you also to go to different colleges, depending if you're not going to Navi Mumbai, you are going out. It will be a long discussion with where you will stay, which hostel you're going to stay in, and what else, which college you're going to take admission in, all that process, right? It's going to be a long discussion. So Einstein got his wish to continue his education, and Einstein was insisting that he didn't want to return to that particular school. So he got his wish, and he would stay there and he would in Switzerland. He would stay in Switzerland and he will continue there, German speaking. So here Switzerland was a German, it is still German speaking city, right? In a city which was more liberal than Munich. So there were lesser restrictions in Switzerland than in Munich. Okay, there were lesser restrictions. We know what are restrictions, right? What?
Restrict.
Restrict what?
We can't use phones.
Correct. So that means what?
Boundaries.
Boundaries, good.
Rules.
Rules.
Which we can't break. If
Yes.
we break, then our teacher will.
Yes.
Yeah, Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics. And after finishing school, he decided to study at a university in
Zurich.
But science wasn't the only thing that appealed to a dashing young man with the walrus mustache.
Walrus animal you see? So that walrus, has this kind of this. So he always has. You look at Einstein. Look, if you look at this, he has this kind of walrus mustache. The way the mustache, you see, walrus animal. You see the walrus animal, it has this kind of mouth, right? It looks, so that's why his mustache looks exactly. Yeah, seal type animal is actually his mustache look like that only. If you see, now also it looks like, not necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested. So you automatically, know that he was very mechanically oriented, right? So maths and physics go hand in hand, right? And he was very gifted in it. He was very talented in it. That's why he could make so many inventions on it. And after finishing school, he decided to study at a university in Zurich. Basically, you should know where he studied, where did he live, where he was born. Okay. But science wasn't the only thing that appealed to the dashing young man with a walrus mustache. So this was not the only thing which appealed to him. Appeal to him means?
Appeal.
What does appeal means?
Not fascinated.
Fascinated. Okay, this was not the only thing that fascinated him. Yes.
He also felt a special interest in a fellow student, Mileva Merrick, who he found to be a clever creature. This young Serb had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe and women could get degrees. Einstein saw in her and Ellie against the Philippines. Those people in his family and at the university, those people with whom he was constantly at odds. The couple with whom he was, the couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness. Wrote Einstein, "How happy and proud I shall be, where we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion."
Okay. So he also felt a special interest. So this was not the only maths and physics were not the only thing which held his interest. There was this girl who he liked, who he loved, Mileva Mari. Okay. So he also felt a special interest in a fellow student. She was studying with him. And he found to be a clever creature. At least he was very intelligent. So he fell in love with a person who was intelligent. Okay. This young Serb had come to Switzerland, Siberia, from Siberia. This is young service from Siberia, okay? Had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. Now, in those days, women education was still a ban. Okay, so there were very few universities who allowed women to study, and this was one of the universities where she was allowed to study. That's why she came here to study. And Einstein met her in this university. Einstein saw in her an ally. Ally is a friend. Okay. Ally is a friend. against the Philistines. Philistines is the one who don't like literature and music. Okay. So that person is known as a Philistine. That means they don't like any kind of art form. Yeah, any kind of art form. They only studies. They only these if you see the environment in the university was very studious, and everybody was bothered only about their studies. So they didn't have any time for art and music and all that. Okay, so that's why they are called. He called them a Philistine. Philistine are people who don't like art and music and literature. Okay. Those people in his family at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. At odds, when I say what do you mean by at odds? Those people in his family, no, with whom he was constantly at odds.
Let's see more.
No. What do you mean by at odds?
Adults.
Big people.
At odds. Read the sentence and then I tell you the meaning. Come on.
He was constantly.
At odds.
He was moving round and round.
He never used to get along with them. When at odds is when you're not very comfortable with that person, you never get along with that person. Okay? You're not comfortable. Okay, you don't get along with them. That means you're at odds.
Not comfortable.
Not comfortable and you don't get along with them, so that means you're at odds with these people. So the only person you used to get along with was who?
Fell in love.
Who? The only person you used to get along with was
Albert Einstein.
Young soul.
Mileva Mari. She's the only person she used to get along with. Rest all of them he couldn't get along with anybody. He was at odds with them. Remember, it's written there. It was that means he couldn't get along with them. He was not comfortable. The only person he was comfortable was
Mileva Mary.
Okay. The
Mileva
couple
Mary.
fell in love. So this is they fell in love. Letters survived in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness. So they were both scientists, right? Both because they were studying in science. They were both they were scientists. So when they were writing letters, they would write letters like words which were scientific expressions. Okay, and both who could understand it because both were learning science, correct? So they mix science with the love letter. You know what a love letters are, right? So they mix both and used to write letters to them, to each other. Wrote Einstein, "How happy and proud I shall be when we both have our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion." So he says, when both our works, when we both get together and become a couple, so that will be the most victorious, right? Victorious as a celebratory moment for our life, correct? As the theory of relativity. You know what a theory of relativity is?
Correspondence.
Huh?
Relatively means correspondence. Correspondence.
Correspondence means letters. Okay. Then, so that jokingly he said, look at the last joke. He said, when you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. But when you sit on a stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That's relativity.
Reality or relativity?
Theory of relativity is what?
Relativity.
What is, you did science, you all are learning science, yes or no?
Yes.
So what is theory of relativity?
Theory. Correspondence. Theory of relativity. Yeah. Equations. Yeah.
C.
Mm,
B. What is theory of
Matter
relativity?
causes space to curve.
According to the theory of general relativity, matter causes space to curve. It is poised.
Positive.
Poised, the gravitational is not a force. Acha, physics. Okay. Understood by Newton's physics.
And it is Newton law of motion.
Ah.
No.
And it is Newton.
No, this was discovered by Einstein.
Ma'am, you know physics? You
Yeah.
know science?
Yes.
You understand, ma'am? Ma'am, you understand maths?
No.
Array.
And physics?
No.
And stream.
Ma'am, you understand physics?
No.
Maths?
No.
Science?
No.
English?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. So
Nishan is telling.
basically, when we are talking about how the matter curves, okay, the pressure, the position of this one, that is called the theory of relativity. So when we both come together, he says that will be a victorious day, and that means we get married. Victorious day is the day when we get married. All right, whose turn it is?
Ryan.
No, not that.
What are you up to, Bhavne?
Huh?
What are you up to?
Ma'am, what? Ma'am, this is live stream.
So what?
ये क्या हो गया?
कुछ नहीं हुआ. चलो.
In 1900, at the age of 21, Albert Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. He worked as a teaching assistant, gave private lessons, and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. While he was supposed to be assessing other people's invention, Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. He is said to have jokingly called the disk drawer at work the bureau of theoretical physics.
Borio.
Bureau.
Okay. In 1900, at the age of 21, Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. So at 21, he became a graduate, okay, and he was unemployed because he didn't have a job. He worked as a teaching assistant. So first he took up a job as a teaching assistant. Then he gave private tuitions, private lessons. And finally, he secured a job in 1902. So for 2 years, basically, he did odd jobs, and then in 1902, he got a job.
He died.
He secured a job in 1902, no?
Yes, and he died in 55.
Now,
1955.
2024. 2020.
Hmm.
How many years back?
Oh, 1955.
Plus
At the age of 76.
202
What?
minus
30 years.
30.
32. 32
I'm very
years.
weak in maths.
8, 11 minus 5.
I'm 35
9
years.
minus 9, 0, 0. 68 years. Madhead.
What?
68 years back. He died.
58 years back, right?
68.
Sure.
Yes.
The maths are very weak.
Huh?
Nearly 100 years back, he died.
How can it be, man?
You are in 2023.
2020
Minus 1955.
68 years.
2023
minus 1955.
minus
3
1955.
2 कट करके 1 1 कट करके
3 minus 5
0 को
2.
जीरो को क्या है कौशिक
एक मिनट 8
10 है ना शायद
minus
13
5
10 9 8 6 9 1 1 168 years sorry 168
Still wrong.
Ma'am, 68 years, यार.
60.
कौशिक कितना है? 1955. अच्छा, okay, I understand.
Well, maths are really very poor.
Mom, what do we need to do?
That's minus 220, 2023.
Mom, what are we doing?
Finding out how many years ago he died.
0 minus 1, 0. I'm 68 years.
Mom, so what do we do? What minus?
We'll go. If I after we talk about it. Alright.
किससे क्या minus
I'm
करना है?
68 years.
मैं
Huh?
किससे क्या minus करना है?
2023 minus 1955 is 68 years.
Yes.
So then you were telling
And
wrong.
you are doubting your own self.
No.
I didn't
You
say you were
told.
wrong.
Ma'am, you told 100 years.
And you told up to 100 years. I told the 68. My
Ah,
sister was right.
68.
Eh.
Alright,
It's
come
not
back.
right.
68 years.
68 years. Chalo, now come back.
I told you.
So we come back and where he won. Keep that book down. And then he got a job as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. Now Bern is again a place, and when you talk about technical this one, he's got a job in a patent office. Patent office is when they give you have to get your product patented. If you invent something, you have to like register it. Okay, and that is called a patent.
Document which gives the rights.
Yes, that means that is, as I have invented, I have to register it on my name, or otherwise the other company can steal it.
Still.
Understood?
Still.
That is also called stealing only. So if it is registered in your name, you can file a case against them, and then you can win that case. Okay, that is a patent. So
After winning,
that
how many
irony was
money
he
he
was.
got?
The irony was he worked in an office where other people were registering their inventions.
And you will give complaint, ma'am.
The-
Ma'am, you will give complaint to my parents at Coupon House.
Yes,
Why? He's.
all three.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, why?
ma'am.
Ma'am, why?
Goes to PTM. तो जाते हैं PTM को?
अरे ये इधर.
मेरे बाबू को
Ma'am, why? Ma'am, why my name you will
I'm
tell?
also telling about.
Because now you're not studying, that's why.
Ma'am, I'm studying.
Ma'am, don't you.
है couple.
Ma'am, इसको करो, इसको.
Hey.
Hey.
Alright, now can I continue?
You.
Can I continue? Or should I give?
You can. You
Okay.
can.
Why he was supposed to be assessing other people's invention?
August में August. हाँ, August.
Bang में. When he was supposed to be assessing other people's invention, Einstein had actually developing his ideas in secret. So he was basically when he's assessing, like you have to. It's a process. It cannot be. They have to verify that the other person is really their invention, is not somebody else's invention, and all that. He actually was in secret. Why? Because there are 10 people who are going to have the same invention. Then whose invention you're going to give patent to? Understood? So
Einstein gives patent to.
he was working in the government. When you're talking about civil servant, he was working in the government in this one, who gave the document who patented the inventions of people, right? So he was working. He also was a scientist, but he was giving this document to others for their inventions. But his own inventions, he did this one. Later on, you come to know that he was secretly working on his invention too. Okay, so it is when he was supposed to be assessing, he was assessing is judging. Okay, assessment means judging other people's invention. Einstein was actually developing his own ideas and secrets. So he also had, remember his inventions are the ones which we are using up till now.
Yes.
So
Maths.
his own ideas and secret. He is said to have jokingly said that his desk drawer is a bureau of theoretical physics. So he called his desk drawer when he kept his documents as a bureau of theoretical physics. Bureau of as an office. Bureau is an office. Office of theoretical physics. Okay, what you still learn in school? Whose turn? Kaushik, read.
One of the famous papers in 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute.
This is important. This is the theory of relativity. This is what is theory of relativity.
Time and distance.
Perfectly accurate clock did not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey. If one of them has been moving very fast relative to the other. From this followed the world's most famous formula which describes the relationship between mass and energy, which is E equal to mc square.
Yeah.
E stands for energy, M stands for mass, and C stands for speed of the light and in
ये तो work and energy का आ गया.
now
Physics से.
yeah relativity is physics only na. Now what is this? What does it mean?
What, ma'am?
What does it mean?
Which?
This
Wait, where is it? E equals to mc square. Na? E means what? M means
Energy.
C means energy. N means I don't know. C means speed. And
if you know how to read, I think it is written.
E means energy. M
Basic.
for mass.
E
E
for
for
energy.
speed of
M for
light in a
mass. C for
vacuum.
speed of the light in the vacuum. About 3 lakh kilometers
Per
second.
second. Square.
It was saying.
Remember, we can find energy by this formula, like by multiplying and
E is equal to
by
mc.
multiplying mass and speed and finding its square. So we can find the energy.
Yeah. What I meant is when you talk about theory of relativity is basically if you take two clocks, even when you bring it close together from a distance at a high speed, the timing will be different.
What?
Now, simple.
Yeah.
You are in India and they are in
Out of
Malaysia.
Malaysia.
abroad. The
Abroad.
time difference
Malaysia.
Study
Malaysia.
abroad.
is but you
America.
are staying on the same earth. Why the time difference will be there?
Now, because of the longitudes and latitudes and so to make
Because of the
time
sun. The sun.
to understand time more easily.
Theory of relativity. So what did he say in the famous paper? His theory of relativity was this: according to which time and distance are not absolute. That means they are constantly changing.
Yes, some time.
Distance
Distance is not
are
absolute.
not
Like we
absolute.
can say, like if we take a 15 centimeter ruler, it is not needed that it is like 15 centimeter.
Measuring itself is so.
Yeah.
Is more, it can be 15 centimeters, but it is like 15 centimeter 0.56 or 5678
Correct.
millimeters.
Correct. So that is why, and this time, and that's why this time and distance are not absolute. That means they are not permanent. They keep on changing. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey. If one of them had been moving very fast relative to the other. So if you take a long journey, remember we are talking about abroad when you go, the time changes. Okay, so they are not going to be the same timing. Even when the two same, we set it on the same timing, by the time you go there, it will change. Understood? From this follow the world's most famous formula. This is why the formula which describes the relation of mass and energy. So energy is equals to mass into what?
Speed of the light in a vacuum.
Yes.
C square.
Chalo. I'm gonna read next.
Yes.
While Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was unraveling. Albert had wanted to marry Mileva right after finishing his studies, but his mother was against it. She thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, was too old for him. She was also bothered by Mileva's intelligence. She is a book like you, his mother said. Einstein put the wedding off.
Okay. So, see, when he's discovering, when he's making scientific discoveries which can be world changing, right? But his personal life also was at the same time was unraveling. Means there were a lot of problems in his personal life. He loved Minerva, right? And he wanted to get married to her, but his mother wouldn't agree. Why? The reason why she wouldn't agree is like she was 3 years older than him. So if he was 26, Minerva was 29. Okay. So
मैरी किसको करना था?
she wanted to marry.
Albert had wanted to marry Mileva.
Who he fell in love with.
Albert Einstein.
No,
Albert
Mileva.
Einstein fell in love with Albert Einstein only.
Mileva.
Mileva.
So he wanted to marry her, but the mother didn't agree. He said she's very old for you.
Only 2 years.
3 years.
Yes.
So only 3 years, and now is modern this one. That time, do you think that the girl has to be elder and the boy has to be younger, or it has to be the other way around?
It has to be other way around.
Correct. The boy has to be older and the girl has to be younger.
Now
it is allowed. At that time it was not allowed.
है ना एक्टर में 11 साल बड़ी है।
Priyanka Chopra we're talking about. Yeah, I know.
Neeraj Chopra.
11 साल बड़ी with who?
Nick Jonas.
Neeraj
Nick Jonas.
Done.
One more is there.
He will be. Array.
Which
Done,
one?
done.
Which one more?
One more is there no who?
Now find out which actor was 10
Okay,
or
ma'am.
7 years old. No using mobile.
Break we can use them.
Next period. After 5.
यार समझता नहीं है क्या?
End stream.